And one thing I could say about, running with the crowd, if you ain't on no positivity and you ain't doing no homework, a lot of stuff always just gonna end up in the negative for you. And that wasn't no different on this night. It was me, a few of my close homeboys. I won't call their name out of respectability for them, being with their wives and kids and stuff now. But we went to a little town on the outskirts of where we from. And I could name the town. It's a town called Cloister. It's about 17, 18 miles away from where I grew up at. And we went to this store to get some gas. And going to the store to get this gas, they had all these colorful corduroy hats in there. And we came up with a plan instant. I'm talking about it was instantaneously. Look, we gonna snatch some hats. And we said, okay, we're going in the store. Me being the guy always trying to, make my way with my friends and hold down the so-called real title, I snatched my hats and ran to the car. And to my surprise, none of my friends showed up. None of them. This was my freshman year in high school. So eventually, a truck came, an 18-wheeler came and blocked the car off. We wasn't going nowhere. That he blocked the car off and told us to get out. He pulled a big old ratchet out. I'm talking about like one of them, he had a PVC pipe in his hand or something, but that ratchet was so big and he was demanding us to get out of the car. I was arrested for that. And I almost killed when my mama showed up to the police station in Clewiston to get me from jail. So little situations like those always kept me in some. It always kept me in some. Another time, I was with a friend. We went and stole a car. And when we stole that car, we went to go try to get another one of our buddies. And when we went to go get another one of our buddies, nobody knocked. When I went and knocked on the door, nobody answered. So right when we pulled off to get to the stop sign where the guy's house was that we went to go pick up, he called, "Hey." And I say, "Dave, go right there, back up." My guy, he throw the car in reverse and back up. And he lose control, trying to stump it while he backing up. And we hit the water. We hit a water hydrant. And I woke up, it knocked me. I was unconscious for I don't know how many minutes or whatever. But what woke me up was the water hydrant shooting up in the inside of the car. You understand what I'm saying? And man, I got to the house. My neck was hurting me, man, for so many months behind that. I think I may have had whiplash, but I ain't go to the hospital for it. But I always stayed in something like that. More incidences occurred with me just filling in and dropping these little filler stories of parts of my life is when I went to DJJ, the Department of Juvenile Justice. I went and, my first time there, I did 26 days. And while I was there, a lot of people would try to pick on my Haitian friends from where I grew up at. And I ain't play that. I was a little skinny little tadpole, but I was a thumper though. And I would make you whoop me. Anyhow, this guy tried to bully a few of my Haitian buddies from home, and I stood up for them, and me and this nigga fought. And I could tell you what his name was. This nigga name was Anthony Smith. All these years I remember his name because me and him bumped into each other. This man hit me the hardest I ever been hit. He hit me so hard that I had to go and get verification from somebody else. Did I win the fight? They told me I won the fight, but man, my jaw was hurting, boy, for a while. It was worse than the whiplash from the car. And, again, being with Fat Boy had a lot of enemies early. He had a lot of enemies early. And on my introduction to what I later knew, what I would be hustling with my whole life, I used to go to this friend house. And going to this friend house, I used to see white stuff all over the counter, all over the tables, all over everywhere. And I never did ask what that was about. So it was some school buses across the street from where we lived at our apartment building. And I gave you a little chi-chi on the game room that was right across the street from my apartment building. But it used to be some little buses, some little work buses over there. And I used to see my friends go on that work bus, and they was smoking crack early. And I was asking them, man, what that is y'all smoking in the can or whatever. They was like, I had to witness the youngest crack smokers of the day during that time. But anyhow, Fat Boy came to my house one day and say he heard that them guys that I be with be having cocaine. So I say, oh yeah, that's what that white stuff was. He said, yeah, man. I say, oh yeah, they be having it. So he asked me to introduce him to my homeboys around my neighborhood that be having it. And I took him to them. And when I took Fat Boy to them, I saw the value of what that drug was. Because instantly it changed these guys. It made their wardrobe go up. They had jewelry around their neck. Fat Boy had gold teeth in his mouth. And Fat Boy was a certified hustler before any of us knew what a certified hustler was. We were walking around paying patty cake and hopscotch and still in the hood, waiting on mama to give us $2 or $3, and Fat Boy had $1,000 or $2,000 in his pocket. So when I seen what this cocaine could do and the affiliation of being around these people, it changed everything for me, because I started to see that it might be a future in this. And no matter what I did, every day I woke up with cocaine premonitions. So later it came to the point of my next door neighbor was a Haitian Don. And I mention his name now because he passed away, rest in peace, to Flagel. He stayed next door to my mama. We're about 2 doors down. And he told me, when you get old enough, I give you something. I heard about you. I heard about your friends. So when I turned about maybe 16, he started giving it to me on consignment. And I would bring him like $1,000, $2,000 a day. Sometime every 2 days, I would give him a lot of money like that. So he started to give me that. And it started, and he wet my feet. He started to give it to me. My mama was coming like, what that is you getting from Flaggy or whatever. And, she seen me in the room counting all this money. So my affiliation of getting into things and going and getting into trouble with people that I was around, it was a common theme for me, no matter where I was. And I always stuck tough with my friends. I always followed the rules of etiquette.